Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Out doing some storm assessment this morning. I've been up since about 3 a.m. Got toned out for some trees downed and a car crashed into a tree, and so was busy for a few hours cleaning up some roadways, and now out assessing it. There were no warnings like, of course, tornado warnings or even severe thunderstorm warnings during that time period last night. But something happened in our district because there's about a mile wide stretch where there's just trees laying down all over the place, uprooted, treetops busted off. I mean, it's a mess. No reported injuries or any damages to homes. Thankfully, that area is well, it's part of the national forest, so there's not really a lot of people that live there. But been busy since about 3 a.m. Handling all that kind of stuff. In other news, I'm a little tired, so if I come across that way, it's because I am. In other news, kind of a big day, maybe. You may have seen it floating around on the internet nets. The contract, the petrodollar contract that the United States has had with Saudi Arabia for the last 50 years expires today. It expires today, and Saudi Arabia had decided to not renew it. So with all the stuff that's going on that we talk about often, the de-dollarization of our currency, of the world, of debt, of BRICS increasing its power, all of these countries that are buying gold, they're wanting to be part of BRICS, just the central bank digital currencies, all this kind of stuff. All along, most everyone has said, yeah, but it's the petrodollar. The U.S. dollar's the petrodollar. And no one else has that. Well, as of today, by a technicality, the U.S. dollar is no longer the petrodollar. Now, whether or not Saudi Arabia chooses to continue to trade their oil and also OPEC in U.S. dollars will remain to be seen. But there is no contract any longer. There's no agreement. There's nothing on paper any longer compelling them to do that. And I don't think the fear of the U.S. government or the U.S. military is really there anymore either. When you see all these other countries that have gone off the U.S. dollar or threatened to do it, or start their own currency, or have started their own gold-backed currency, and the United States has done nothing, I think they probably think they can do what they want. It's not like it was back in the 80s and 90s, where we would go to war or take out some world leader just because they hinted at, not using the U.S. dollar. There are some people, and I'm not saying they're wrong, I don't know. They're more knowledgeable than me, that this may just be the beginning of the end, the real beginning of the end for the U.S. dollar. For those of you that don't know, and if you don't know, shame on you. You should know this. The U.S. dollar, there's nothing backing it. There's no gold backing it. There's nothing. There's the faith of the people. There's the force of the military. And there's the fact that the U.S. dollar is used as the petrodollar. It's used in transacting oil. Well, again, like I just said, I'm not so sure that we can say the military, that there's a lot of fear left in the military, being that Biden and others have done a real good job of losing that position. And it's no longer the petrodollar by technicality or official documentation. And I don't know how much faith the people have left in it. So at what point does the U.S. dollar start losing its pizzazz? At what point do people stop using it? Here in the United States, I think that people will still use it as long as they can. But in other countries, that may be different. You know, there was once a time, and it's still this way most places. I understand. But there was once a time that you could go anywhere in the world. You didn't have to exchange U.S. currency for their local currency. You could go anywhere in the world and use U.S. currency, and it was pretty much accepted. Like you could just go anywhere, and our currency was so powerful and so valuable that, you know, you could live like a king in most countries with U.S. currency, and that's starting to change. There's some limbs in the road up here. I think they'll be okay. They're not too bad. Most of the people around here just drive over them. I'm going down a different road today, in case you haven't noticed. This isn't the road I typically drive on. I'm assessing this road because it's near the area that I mentioned that appeared to have a lot of storm damage, so I'm checking it out. And there's some campgrounds down here, so I want to check them out on flooding too. Anyways, this could be a really bad deal for us. Now, with all the other stuff going on, to add this to the pile, I just don't know how much more everything can handle it. Yeah, this one I'm going to stop and get out. It's not a big one, but I should probably move it. All right. There we go. Wasn't that bad, but still. No one would want to hit that with their car. With everything that's going on, I don't know anymore how much longer the system, the everything, can handle it. To be honest with you, I didn't think it would last this long. I didn't think everything would last this long. I didn't think the U.S. dollar, our economy, the government, everything. I didn't think it would last this long. So it's showing more resiliency than I expected. But that doesn't mean it's going to last forever. And also always remember, this isn't just true with the United States. This is true with government in general. When their economy is failing or when their currency is failing, one of the things that they love to do is to go to war. It distracts people, it motivates people to work and to spend. You know, they get a little boost. It doesn't fix the problem, but it certainly puts a big band-aid over it for a while. So with everything that's going on in Europe and in Taiwan, and then these things happening with our currency, I would certainly expect there to be, you know, the strong possibility of World War III. Now, we've already thought that anyways, but this is just another motivation for that to happen. We have to be prepared for this, folks. This is a big deal. I think as Americans, we just, most everyone watching this right now, they've lived all or most of their life with the United States being the top dog, having the top currency, and just being the world leader. Even if we don't necessarily lose a war, but it's just that we're no longer the world leader, or our currency is no longer globally accepted, not the petrodollar, all these things, that in itself is going to have devastating repercussions. I mean, that's like the most minimal thing, but it's still going to be devastating. It's going to affect everything, and then it could easily cause hyperinflation or a complete collapse of our currency. This isn't something to just sit around about and ignore. This thing today, the petrodollar contract, it's a big deal. I've had several people contact me in the last 24, 48 hours, and a few of them come from, financial backgrounds and stuff, and they're like, this is huge. This is really, really, really bad. And no one's talking about it. It's not in the news or anything, but this is really, really bad. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying what they say, because they know more than I do about this kind of stuff. I think it's pretty safe to say, though, that it is bad. Because that's always been the fallback thing. Anytime I ever talk about, U.S. dollar collapse and all that kind of stuff, one of the very first things anyone responds back to me or sends me an email or comments in the comment, well, we're the petrodollar. They can only do so much because we're the petrodollar. Well, we're not the petrodollar anymore. We're not officially, not on paper. It's not. And that's a big deal. We need to get ready for that stuff, folks. Stocking up, prepping, planning, maybe putting a little gold and silver back behind something, under your pillow. That's probably, I wouldn't think that should be your highest priority. If you've got everything else kind of nailed down pretty good, then maybe you could start looking at that. But definitely be getting yourselves prepared, because this is just one more big nail in the coffin, and I don't know that it needs too many more before it's finally done. You need to get your houses in order, folks, and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.